Hi friends, our motivation series, today's discussion is going to be on Bill Gates, the most successful person of this year today. In 2021, his net worth assessment is given as $132 billion, and he is the richest private individual in the world, next to Elon Musk and the Amazon CEO. We are going to study how he made this success in his life. And for that, three aspects are going to be analyzed. The first one is his biography. Biography also plays a vital role to know about a person. The second one about the qualities, the 5 important qualities. We have been seeing in our series how qualities made habits and how both habits and qualities combined give the person success. In that same note, we are going to discuss the 5 qualities of Microsoft founder Bill Gates. And the third one is his warnings to the world. So that also we are going to discuss now. So these 3 aspects we are going to discuss, and before that, please subscribe. And once we subscribe, you will get quality videos on your success as well as prosperity. William Henry Gates. Bill Gates, born in the year 1955 on October 28th in Seattle. He is like any other child. But at the age of 13, he wrote his computer programs. Let me finish his brief biohistory within a minute. A short note about his success story alone in biography. Then he entered into the Harvard University. But remember, he has not completed the course. He has come out as dropout. His interest to become an entrepreneur made him to start Microsoft with his friend Alan. Both of them, as co-founders, started Microsoft Corporation, of course with some basics and what you call MS-DOS programming in the beginning. And today the worth is $132 billion worth. Bill Gates is worth of $132 billion in 2021. This success, let us attribute to his biography. Of course, he is married, Melinda, and had 3 kids like any other normal human being. But he started on foundation also in the year 1999, around 2000, and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. That foundation was focusing on 3 areas: global development, global health, and the US division, mostly concentrating on the global welfare measures as well as development. And as you all know, Bill Gates is the person behind the success of polio eradication almost in the whole world. Let me just read out the foundation and how the foundation has spent so far. I have a list. He spent $1 billion on scholarships so far from the foundation. He spent $750 million on vaccines and immunization around the world. He spent $350 million on schools and teachers, on the upgradation of the schools, and also for the students, community as a whole. He spent $200 million on library science, procuring books and maintaining library. He spent $100 million on children's vaccine alone, vaccines meant for the children alone. He spent $50 million on malaria. He spent $40 million on International Vaccine Institute. Another $50 million on polio eradication. $28 million on UNICEF. And finally, $25 million on TB Foundation. Apart from his business acumen, he also had a philanthropic mindset. So this makes the person a perfect, both in the aspects of developing himself and as well as developing the entire humanity. So under that score only, this topic is going to be discussed on the success story of Bill Gates. So biography, as you all know, so let us stop with that. Let us get into the qualities. The first five important qualities, let us take. The first one is learn to say no. Most of us always say yes. We are interested. In fact, saying no has become almost not possible for some people. But successful people always learn to the art of saying no. Unless you say no, you may find it very difficult to say yes to your own interests, to your own drive forces, to your own pursuits. So, if you find time for saying no, you'll find time for saying yes to all your passions. That is his theory. The second one is going to be on criticisms. You know what is criticisms? No, Bill Gates always respects criticisms. The criticism could be of any type. Criticisms might be on his own person, or his own company, or his own policies, or his own employees, whatever it may be. Bill Gates always says that criticisms are the lessons. We have to learn from the critics rather than learning from the friends. So that is his theory. So most of us will definitely understand what actually the meaning of this term called accepting the criticisms. Unless you learn the art of accepting the criticisms of others or the negative points which they highlight about you as well as your company, it is very difficult to survive in this world. And by accepting that, you are learning. Okay. So third part is going to be study your success. Many of us always study from the failures. Whenever we come across or we happen to meet the failures, we start learning certain things. That is very common. What is not common is studying from the success. But the people who are on the success throne always say that you have to learn from the success also. Not the failure alone is the teacher. Success also is the teacher. Success will tell you how you succeeded. Success will tell you how you can become successful in future also. Unless you learn these lessons of success, survival with the success is difficult. So fourth one is known as measure your progress. Whenever you step into the progress side, step by step, one by one, when you grow, always measure. What do you mean by measure? Measure in the sense, be calculative. No success should come on its own. It is because of your own efforts. You should know which step leads to what. That is called the measure. I took this step and that step leads me to that particular step. So that is what the measurement. That means everything must be consciously done by you. Only then you can claim that you are successful. Not just the luck alone is going to take you to the heights. Your own analysis, your own self-analysis is going to be very, very important for all your success. And the last part, not the least one, is known as always be optimistic. You know what is optimism? Most of us may think that optimism means always thinking positively. It is not in other terms of thinking positively alone. Thinking and feeling and living positively. That is very important. Optimism means even if everything goes wrong, you should still have one thing which is going to be a permanent in you, is known as optimism. Only those who are very optimistic, even if they lose the battle for more than 50 years, at the 51st year, they will succeed. So the theory says that people with optimism always win. So be optimistic. So these are the 5 important qualities. The first one is going to be like learn to say no rather than always saying yes. Okay. The second one is respect the criticisms because the critics are the teachers. And third one is study your success. You have to study your success also. You should learn from the success also. And then measure the progress. Whenever you grow, always keep a vigil on that progress. And the last one is going to be always optimistic. These are the 5 qualities which you will find always prevailing, always permanent with Bill Gates, which made him to be so successful today. Now let us get into the third aspect, the warnings. You know, Bill Gates warned a pandemic like situation that you are facing now, that we are facing now. He predicted some 5 years back. See, it is not a kind of what you say, an astrology or a prediction, something like that. Bill Gates, when the humanity goes like that, what will happen? He predicts. Today, his predictions are two: global warming or climate change. You know what is climate change? Most of us forget the phenomenon called eco-friendliness. The whole world is somehow or other going against the environmental pressures, environmental requirements. That leads to climatic changes, and climatic changes definitely will lead to total disaster of the humanity. One good example you can find in Uttarakhand in India. So climate change also is one of the warnings of Bill Gates. Unless the world governments always be clear about the subject of climate change and take measures, it is very difficult. It's going to be like another pandemic. The second warning is bio-terrorism. In future, the war is not going to be by using weapons, your so-called guns and other metal weapons. In future, the warfare is going to face bioterrorism, biological wars. You know what is biological wars? They are going to introduce viruses against the enemies. But remember one thing, viruses definitely will not know the boundaries. So that is going to be a total chaos. It is going to be a total confusion and total destruction, sometimes annihilation in future. That also he wants. So the governments at large in all countries should be prepared for these two warnings given by Microsoft founder Bill Gates. So these three are the very, very important dimensions of a success of a person. His biographical sketch is very small. I have given only a brief note, but qualities are very important. And the third one is his warnings. So these three are the important dimensions of the success story of Bill Gates. And we wish that we'll emulate his model, we'll emulate his mentorship and be successful in life. Success viewers, thank you.